Hurkun oku trap sonsun. Trap sonsun trap donsun. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булан. Дагаж дуулан дур булан мууруулаа.
Hey, everyone, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with Weendawg.
What's up, dude?
Things are going good. I got a big news coming soon about some major TV deal I got going on. So happy about that. I'll probably let you guys know next week. So that's why we didn't do the show Tuesday. That's why I'm telling you that. Not just to brag, but to let you know that. But I'm committed to making this the best podcast ever. So we have it on Thursday. I want to thank our sponsor, Speedweed. Listen, people, marijuana is legal in California, and there's no reason you should have to leave your house to smoke. Okay, you can get it delivered. How cool is that? Because I mean, telling you, cops have been cracking down on DUIs, and you go to the dispensary, and there's some hot chick behind the thing. These bud tenders, they have them now, and they go, "Hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that?" Before you know it, you're stoned as hell. You get in your car, and now it's $20,000. You get fired from your job. Your wife leaves you. Your dog runs away. Your cat, it's just horrible. So don't do any of that. Okay. Go to speedweed.com. They got the best flower. They got best vape. They got CBD oil. They got marijuana. They got cookies. They had weed beef jerky, marijuana beef jerky that I ate. I have CBD chapstick that I use.
Oh,
okay?
I need that. Dude, I need the CBD
chapstick. I love it. Okay, I have everything from you name it, between the candies and the cookies and the vape pens, and it's a smorgasbord out there. Okay, so. Check them out, speedweed.com, mention Roasted. You get $10 off, $100 or more on the order. The guy, Gino, great guy, super guy, big fight supporter, just a great guy. Also, people, listen, people with sexual performance issues is more common than you think. Over 25% of new ED cases are guys under the age of 40. That's you people listening, most of you, all right? 40% of men by the age of 40 struggle with not being able to get and maintain an erection. That's the worst, okay? You get a girl back or a guy back, whatever you're into, okay, or a transgender, whatever you're into, okay? You get him back, her back, and now all of a sudden, your penis won't work. That person thinks it's them, it's you, or you get hard, and now it doesn't stay hard, all right? Listen, even the greatest actor in the world, Marlon Brando, rest his soul, couldn't fake an erection. He's dead, right, Brando?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, listen, so why do guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing when they can turn instead to science and medicine? Go to forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. Thanks to science, ED can be optional. And by ED, I mean erectile dysfunction. I don't mean ED, okay? So, Hims connects you to real doctors with medical-grade solutions to treat ED. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you combat ED. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. None. No waiting room. No awkward doctor visits. No lines. Save hours. Go on to forhims.com. It is so easy. Answer a few quick questions and chat with a doctor for confidential review. Products are shipped directly to your door. I'm telling you, being your best means performing your best. When I bang my wife, okay, which I like to do. I think she wants it more often than I actually do bang her. But when I do, I want to give her my best bang for the buck. I don't pay her, but you know what I mean. Listen, okay? It's erectile without the dysfunctional. It's just erectile. Just E. Hard made easy. Say hello to your little friend. Call to action. People, go to Try Hims for a month today for just $5. We'll get you started for just $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. This will cost you hundreds if you went to the doctor for a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/MMA Roasted. MMA Roast ED. That's FORHIMS.com/MMA Roast ED. Forhims.com/MMA ROASTED. So,
it's awesome.
There you go. It's been a good, I have had a good week. I was in San Diego over the weekend. I love San Diego. If I wasn't in the biz, as they call it, I would live there. It's just, it's a beautiful place. Mm-hmm. People are nice. Mm-hmm. Kat Zingano came to my show on Friday night.
Really?
Yeah, looking good. Damn.
Is it a boyfriend?
Yeah, he didn't look too good. But me and Kat squashed the beef, which was good because she got I had her on the podcast about 2 years ago, and I think I asked her if she was like, what kind of chick she was in high school. She was a regular, or if she got finger banged in the playground or whatever it was. And
It's a standard question.
Yeah, standard. It was like that was my opener. Yeah. And then she got upset. Then I talked about Ronda Rousey gaining weight, and she got mad about that. But so she came to the show. She was super nice. She laughed at everything. She was and she said that she didn't know it was that. She thought it was a regular interview. Like she didn't know that like it was this kind of a show.
Oh, okay.
Which is why she was a little taken by surprise. But she liked the show, and I liked her. I like Kat. I'm a Kat Zingano fan, and it was cool having her there. Very humble. And then I did a show where there was a guy. I was talking to the crowd at the end, like from the stage, and some guy's like, I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I was on The Real World. I'm like, really? What did you do? He's like, I was on 2 episodes, and then some guy stole my bike. I think he was Mexican. And I was like, welcome to The Real World. so that got a huge. That was fun.
Oh my God.
And then Monday and Tuesday, the Dime Bar has been great. It's a lot of times we have actresses come to the show though. Like, it's L.A. And
what kind of actresses? Like
not like porn actresses, like real legit actresses. But a lot of times they just come and like I don't know if they're studying the comedy or like thinking, can I do it or whatever. But I was talking to the crowd. I'm like, what do you do? And the girl's like, I'm an actress. I'm like, well, act happy. which she was. She was really sweet. So then and then I did a show with Flex Alexander, who was actually I used to watch his show back in I think it was the 80s or early 90s called Homeboys in Outer Space. He was one of the homeboys. And this guy's been on everything, one-on-one, this and that. He hosted The Dime. And then Jeremy Piven. I've been working with Piven on comedy and helping him, giving him pointers. And I'm becoming friends with Piven. Nice guy. Super nice guy. So that was cool.
Nice.
And things are good. Except for we actually took the wrestling room. We've actually built my garage and turned it into a wrestling room.
Like a legit damn wrestling gym, dude.
Yeah, because what happened, the guy before me made like a studio out of it. Like he was a photographer. So I think he made it way bigger. It's like a shot. You could actually Airbnb that if I owned this place and wasn't renting. So I got these free mats and we put them up, and I'm super excited. The wife wasn't so excited. I guess she's having a wedding shower or something, and for her friend. And wanted to make it all like wine tasting.
She's gonna try to give her friends a tour of the house, and she's like, "This is my garage."
Yeah, she's like, "How's your playroom?" She calls it my playroom, and I was like, "Babe, our daughter's gonna love it out here." She goes, "Great, you guys can live out there." So that didn't go very well at all. But you know what it was? I said to her and her mom over Easter Sunday, we were having brunch. I said, I was thinking about I'm on the treadmill in there, and I'm like, maybe I can make this into a wrestling room. And they're like, yeah, I think it's a great idea. As a side business, you can coach, blah, blah. And my wife's like, yeah, that would be so productive. So I did it. And then she's like, I didn't think you were really going to do it. Like, she thought I was just talking she didn't think I would actually get the wrestling mats and hire the Mexicans and do all that. So, but now I'm excited to actually have practice in there.
It's going to be dope. I love it. I saw a picture you posted on Instagram. I was like, that's not his garage, is it? With the wrestling mats behind you. I'm like, oh my God. And then I just saw it like 20 minutes ago. I was so surprised by how badass it is, dude.
I love it. And I've been going to jiu-jitsu. I went to practice on, it's one of those things. I sign up for 3 days a week. I went once this week, which sucks. I should be going more. But I went yesterday. I got kind of pissed because I was rolling with this kid who was who's pretty good. I got him. We did that like you start where you have a guy like in a rear naked choke and you go live from that situation basically. And I got him the first time, whatever. Tapped him. We shouldn't talk about it. And then he got me, but I was trying to like kind of belly down and then get out of it. Because I know they say you put your back flat on the mat basically to get out of it and hip in. Well, the guy followed me and I tried to spin out and he had my arm. And I was going to try to be a hero. And just first I was holding my arm with my right hand to try to get out of it. And then I'm like, eventually he got my arm. And I tapped.
From armbar?
Yeah, for an armbar. And then the guy didn't. I was like, don't be a hero. Don't break your fucking arm in class. Just tap. Fucking the guy didn't let go.
Even though you're tapping?
Yeah, I tapped again. Maybe because he wasn't facing me. Didn't let go. I was like, tap. And he's like, oh, my bad. I think he might have been happy. Maybe it was the first guy he ever tapped and he got excited.
Were you tapping him or the mat?
The mat.
I know because sometimes I'll have people in a submission and they'll be tapping the mat, but they're not like tapping hard enough. They're not like they're just like tapping it lightly. I can't hear it or feel it at all. So
I got annoyed.
Yeah,
I can
see how that'd be.
And then I was like, all right, now we're going on our feet, and I just lateral dropped him because on the feet I have a pretty good advantage from wrestling. But I was like, but I'm liking it. I like it a lot. I actually like it a lot. Although yesterday we were starting on our feet and I think we ran over like 3 girls in class that were on the. It's different in wrestling because like in wrestling when we go live, everyone's on their feet, you know, in the mat. But this class had like 25 people, and some people were starting on their feet, other people were rolling around. So it's hard to like not run into people, especially if you're coming from a wrestling background. But I like it. I like it a lot. I'm all about it. I like gi. I like no gi. I got annoyed when they were grabbing my sleeves at first. I'm like, really? But I guess now, after the instructor showed us a move, I'm like, oh, that's a legitimate way to get someone down. Yeah, in the gi. Yeah.
I noticed that at 10th Planet Burbank, where I trained, like we've been getting like 30, 40 people in every class. Like people just keep coming and coming, like new people. And I noticed like when people are sort of new to jiu-jitsu, they like to like grab onto your clothes. Like, because they don't really know what to do. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves in jiu-jitsu. In no gi, when they grab onto like whatever you're wearing to like get out of a position.
No, totally. At first, I was like, "Get the fuck off my clothes, off my shirt, you asshole!" Like, well, what are you grabbing my gi? But now, then you realize that like that's part of the This is part of it.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you?
Man, the last couple of weeks have been kind of strange, dude. The last episode I was on was about a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about the date I went on with this girl. I remember saying something on the podcast that she wanted, for the first time ever meeting her, she wanted me to go and meet her parents inside of her house. And I was like...
The Russian girl?
No, this is a different girl. She's like a white girl.
Right.
So I'm like...
The Russian girl's not white?
Well, she's white, but this is like an American.
Okay,
American
yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to freaking meet this girl's parents when I don't even know who she is. I never met her in person yet.
You never met the girl before?
Not in person.
Now you gotta meet her parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said I don't really want to do that the first time. I want to get to know this girl first.
That's strange.
And then meet her
How old
parents.
is she?
She's 21.
Okay.
And so I text her. I say, "Yo, girl, I don't want to be meeting your parents today. I just want to go out with you, go get some coffee or something, talk a little bit, get to know you first, and then, you know, if everything goes good, then I'll meet your parents."
Right.
So then I text her that. She's like, "Okay, fine." And I go to pick her up, and she lives in this massive, giant house, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air shit, dude. So I go there. I'm like a little intimidated. I'm like, "Oh shit, she's freaking loaded, dude." And then she comes out. I text her I'm here. She comes out of the house, and I see her. It's the first time seeing her ever. And she just comes and storms to my car. Doesn't even look at me in my eyeballs. Doesn't acknowledge me. Doesn't give me a hug or anything. Just storms to the car, opens the door, gets in, shuts the door. I get in. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Where are we going?" I'm like,
how does she look?
She's very attractive. She's
why
very
is she
beautiful.
talking like an ogre?
Because she was angry. She was like pissed at something.
Were you late?
No, I was like on time. Perfect. I'm always on time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Where are we going? Where are you taking me?" I'm like, I don't know. Where do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Do you want to go here?" She's like, "No." "Do you want to go get food here?" "No." "Do you want to go get a drink here?" "No." I said, "Do you want to go to CSUN, my school, and just walk around? Because it's nighttime. It's very beautiful there at night." And she's like, "No, I can't go to CSUN." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I just ended up driving her. I was like so like disturbed and angry because how she's acting in person is so different than how she's acting when we're texting.
So where did you end up going?
Fucking Dunkin' Donuts, dude. I didn't know where to go. So she's like, we gotta get a drink soon because it's almost 9 o'clock and I gotta take my medicine, my pills. I'm like,
what kind of pills?
It's
anxiety or something, or depression, or
it's like for seizures, something like that.
Okay,
I don't know.
The Dunkin' Donuts was where you chose?
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit. Because now I'm starting to panic. I don't know if she's acting like this before her pills, and if she doesn't take pills, she's gonna turn into a motherfucking gremlin or something.
How is Dunkin' Donuts? So then, how was that?
We go to Dunkin' Donuts. I pull over. We get out of the car, and we're walking up to Dunkin' Donuts, and she sees like this cup on the ground. It's just like some soda cup that somebody bought from McDonald's or something, left on the sidewalk, and then she just charges at the cup and kicks it like an NFL kicker across the street. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And the cup was actually full to the brim with like water, so water got all over her
for no reason.
Yeah, she just did it out of nowhere.
You said, "What are you doing?"
I said, what was that for? What are you doing? And she's like, "I don't know. I just get the urge to kick things sometimes." I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And so we go to Dunkin' Donuts. She gets the water. I get some smoothie thing. And we sat there for like 10 minutes and I just took her home. I'm like, that was...
You make out there at the end or nothing?
No, there was no energy, no sexual tension, nothing between us. And I was like, what the fuck was this?
I had a similar date like that where the girl was like... so fucking annoying, like talking about her son the whole time being this like actor. My son's an actor, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, who's your son? And she would not tell me who, like as if I even cared. Like I was just trying to be nice. And then finally we ended up. I'm like, where do you want to go? it was in Pasadena. I'm like, I don't know where to go around here. This is where you live. I don't know. I'm like, so then I pick like, I don't know, Dave and Buster's. I don't want to go there. I'm like, you know what? After like asking her 9 times and me getting nothing, I go, I'm taking you home.
Yeah.
And she started crying.
Oh
my God. I go, listen, this is just not going to work. I'm sorry. It's getting late. It was like 7:00. I'm like, I have to go. I'm like, I have work in the morning. I'm a comedian. Like, it was just, I named like 9 things. And then finally she's like, and then she was crying. So I took her out for Thai food because I felt bad. And it was just the worst. It was the worst.
Yeah, that's terrible. My story does not end there, my friend. So after I went home that night, I started texting. I'm like, yo, what was that about? How come you didn't act like I thought you would act? Like how you act and portray yourself through texting and FaceTime. Because we used to FaceTime still. And she still acted completely different. And she says, oh, I'm so sorry. I was just really, really nervous. I didn't know how to act. You're so handsome. I'm like, well, I know that. But I've never had anybody like have such a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to give her a second chance because I know sometimes the nerves get the best of us.
Right.
So I decided that I was going to meet up with her last Friday and we would actually go out and do something for real. So Friday comes, I go pick her up. But this time I actually did go in her house and meet her parents, which is no big deal. It's fine.
Yeah.
She lives beautiful home, beautiful house. And so we go out to a Mexican restaurant and then we go back to her house afterwards and we go upstairs and I'm like, we're hanging out playing air hockey and then I decide to show her some jiu-jitsu moves and I'm like showing her some chokes.
Yeah.
And her parents are downstairs and we're upstairs. We're not in a room or anything. It's just like an upstairs like play area and their parents are directly downstairs and she says like out loud, no, don't choke me like
no
that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, don't say that out loud. I'm like, this is my first time in your house and your parents are meeting you for the first time. That's something you don't want to say.
No, of course not.
When her dad is downstairs. I'm pretty sure they heard, but I don't think they did anything or said anything. And then I ended up kissing her at the end of the night, which is very romantic. But then I got a text from another girl.
Yep.
And she says, yo, Joey, I'm home alone tonight. My parents are gone on a
While you were
camping
there?
trip. While I was there.
Right.
And she's like, you want to come over and hang out for a little bit? I'm like, hell yeah. But she lives like an hour away in like Sherman Oaks or some shit like that. So I drive to her house. This is the first time ever meeting that girl too and seeing her.
Yeah.
And dude, she lives in an even bigger mansion.
No way.
I swear to God. Like,
This is the first time you ever met her?
Yeah.
They just invite you over your house?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she has a giant multi-million-dollar mansion. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And she's home alone. You know, she's not a 7, 8, or 9 or a 10 or anything like that, but you know, it'll do. So I went over to her house after the first girl, and I ain't gonna lie, we did some dirty stuff.
Look at you, definitely
No, definitely
Oh,
not.
just felt her boobs?
Well, we went all the way.
You banged her?
Yeah.
Yes. First night?
Yeah.
Just meeting her?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I thought you'd be proud of me for doing the
Did you use a condom?
girls. Yeah, I did use a condom.
Oh, wow. I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah, 4 hymns, dude.
4 hymns, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. so all right, that's good. So you like this girl?
No, I actually like the first girl more.
Really?
Yeah.
The crazy one?
The thing is, I don't like having long distance relationships with.
It's an hour away.
Exactly. I'm fine with dating a girl who lives in Brazil because I don't have to actually see her. But when a girl lives an hour away, that means you have to actually occasionally drive an hour to see her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas, you know, I ain't got time for that.
I mean, young Joe, I mean, look, when I was your age, I was, you know, picking girls up literally off the street and be like, hey, what are you doing? Going up to my apartment and then doing the deed
Oh my
as well.
God.
I mean, like, they remember one time I was going into there was a strip club right near me in New York City called Flash Dances on 53rd and like Broadway. And these 2 girls were leaving and it was like noon. So I figured they were like applying for a job or something. Like, 'cause I was like walking home. I was like, what are you girls doing? And they're like, oh, we're just, you know, we're from North Carolina or something. And I'm like, oh, you want to hang out? Like, okay, get a coffee. Within like an hour, they were in my apartment giving me a bush shot where they lied me down. One girl stood over me and like poured bush down the other girl, beer down the other girl's like vagina into my mouth. I mean, these were the days. Okay, so
That's awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, it was good times, man. Those were good. I mean, now I'm a married man with a kid on the way, but you have to get it out of your system. See, that's the problem with most men, Joe. Is they don't have those exciting times. They don't have those crazy one night stands. They don't have those failed relationships. They don't have those threesomes. And then they get into a relationship, they get married, and all of a sudden they do well in life. Let's say they book a show or a comedian or they get money. And then they're like, oh shit, now I could have those things, but I can't. So they want them even more. Me, I was done, dude.
You lived it all.
I lived it all. the last, you live it all.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get it out of your way. But you got to be careful, man. You don't want to get AIDS or knock a girl up or that you don't like or, syphilis or whatever, chlamydia. I think those are curable, but you got to be careful.
My biggest fear is knocking a girl up who is like super religious and against abortions.
Yes.
And that's like my biggest fear. That's why, I don't always wear a condom. I wear a condom about 1 out of 10 times.
No, that's terrible, dude. You got to wear more condoms. you got to wear condoms 10 out of 1 times. Okay, so you should have one on now.
The biggest mistake for some dudes, especially me, is having intercourse with a condom on and then going down on the girl afterwards when her vagina tastes like just straight up
why would you do
rubber.
that?
I learned from my mistakes, dude. Trust me. And these dollar store condoms ain't no joke. It's like they're basically just water balloons, dude. Like regular party balloons.
Why would you go down on a girl after you've already had sex with her?
I'm generous. I don't know.
Ah, man. Yeah. You got to be good. You got to do the right thing. So listen, people. Let's talk about some fights that went on. Now that you're all grossed out, and people. All right. So Gaethje versus Poirier over the weekend. You watched that fight?
Hell yeah.
Listen, I said that was going to happen. Poirier is more disciplined. I love the way Gaethje fights. I said I think I'm talking about Hanato. I said, don't you think he knows one way of fighting, and that one way is going to beat the guys into the WSOF, even barely, when I get in the Palomino case. But you get to that next level, and it's not going to work. You might get lucky against Michael Johnson, who buys into your plan. But eventually, you got to have a backup. You got to have plan B or plan C. And I know Gaethje, he's 4-time All-American wrestler, refuses to use his wrestling at all, which is dumb.
I think he has good takedown defense at least. Though,
Doesn't
right?
cut weight. He probably shouldn't be even that weight class, and he should be at 135. And look, I'm a Justin Gaethje fan, but he's got to fight smarter. I mean, he's got to be a smarter fighter.
He just takes too much damage now.
Way too much damage. Every one of his fights.
Yeah.
Every single one of his fights. It turns into a fucking Rocky 4. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, I mean, all of his fights are super entertaining. Fight of the night, but then there's like this elephant in the room, like knowing that he is gonna be barely able to talk in 5 years.
Well, the good news is that for other guys like the Kamaru Usmans and even the Colby Covingtons and the guys who don't do that, is that there's always guys like Gaethje. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people, look, there's always gonna be Diego Sanchez and Justin Gaethje and those warrior guys. Every single fight is a fucking, one of those fights. So Elias Theodoro, just win by wrestling if you have to, because there's gonna be Gaethje. There's gonna be those guys. So that's good for those guys. But for Gaethje, it's like, I don't know. I think that it's the old argument of, would you want to be exciting or do you want to win? Right. And they don't always have to be mutually exclusive, but you could be exciting and win, but sometimes being smart and exciting, is the best way to do it. Mm-hmm. So that was easy.
But for Poirier, they say the best fight for Poirier now is the Eddie Alvarez rematch. I would love to see that because how that ended. It was very disappointing.
1,000%, and 1,000% love to see that. So also Alex Oliveira, Carlos Condit. Look, I like Condit, but at this point, I just think if he's losing to the Alex Oliveira's of the world, and not to put him down, maybe it's time to hang it up. And, he's had so many wars, such a great fighter. Love Carlos Condit. But, I always get nervous when guys retire and then come back and then retire and then come back because it just seems like they're just so in and out. Mm-hmm. And some guys can do it. GSP can do it. But for every GSP, there's 6 Carlos Condits and 6 guys like, I'm BJ Penns or these other guys who were once amazing and then come back for a paycheck and probably, or maybe not just for a paycheck, but it's not the most, I don't know. I don't want to see it.
How do you feel about, I heard some rumors of Carlos Condit, his retirement fight would be against Nick Diaz in his return fight. How do you feel about that? That'd be pretty cool.
Of course, look, yes. Carlos Condit can fight a cold and I'll watch it. And Nick Diaz can fight a traffic cop and I'll fucking watch it. 1,000%. I'm in. But it would be nice if these guys, fighting for money is one of the reasons why you should fight, but at the same time, it
It shouldn't be the only reason you fight.
Yes. So this guy Israel, whatever his name is,
Adesanya Stylebender.
You know, he kept saying, "Stop comparing me to John Jones." Well, after that, nobody's gonna do that anymore. You be careful what you wish for, because like this guy Israel, and I was suspicious of him, and because they put him up against a guy who's a striker with no wrestling really, and he made him look bad in wrestling, and that's when you're like, imagine he went up against a guy who actually knew how to wrestle. A college level wrestler, or even like just a high level wrestler, and one of these guys from Dagestan, it would have been over for him. And this guy's got a long. If I were him, I would solely focus on not just forget striking, but you got striking in the fucking bag. Takedown defense and submissions off your back, because he looked like a fish out of. He looked like I do in jiu-jitsu class on my back. Of like, what do I do? And that's not how you want to look in the UFC. You don't want to have them on your back and go, all right, now what do I do? Because that's just, you know. So yeah, I'm not right now. Ben Askren is fighting with Rory McDonald on Twitter. They're going back and forth. I guess like I would pick Askren in that fight.
Really? You think he's able to take Rory down easily?
He's a lot bigger than Rory.
Oh.
He's bigger than him. He fights at 85 over at 1FC. And yeah, he could take Rory down easily. 100%. I mean, Rory's tough, and Rory's looked really good in Bellator, but he's looked really good against guys that aren't wrestlers. Against Askren, ooh.
How does Askren do against Khabib?
Yes, that's Askren's so much bigger. He's about 30 pounds bigger.
What would that fight be like weight wise? 170.
Probably a 170 catch weight, but Khabib at 55 looks good. So at 70, I don't know.
Same question with Khabib versus GSP. What would that weight be? 170 again?
Because GSP's not making 55.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so I guess it'd be 170. And at 170, if they make a 165 weight class, all this changes. Because then, you know, but so that's that. So this week, let's talk about some of the fights going on this week. Kevin Lee versus Barboza. I got Lee all the way.
Yeah, me too.
I think Kevin Lee is just, I think the Khabib showed the blueprint on how to beat Barboza.
But still, Barboza still has that ability just to stop a fight so crazily. Spinning heel kick, anything. I've been playing Barboza on the UFC 3 video game. He ain't no joke, dude.
He's no joke. But I just think Kevin Lee knows that. But he's not going to get into a striking contest with him. I think he's going to take him down and just impose his will on him. It's also a 3-round fight, not a 5-round fight. So if it was a 5-round fight, I would say almost Barboza maybe has a chance to catch him around 4 or 5 when Lee gets tired. But a 3-round fight, I mean, Kevin Lee walks around at 185. I mean, he's a fucking big dude.
Right.
And Barboza does not look like he's just bigger. Edgar, I got Edgar over Cub. As much as I like Cub, which I really do, he's a friend of mine, I think Edgar's got it.
I'll go with Cub on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
I think this could go. Is this 5 rounds or 3 rounds? It's 3 rounds, right?
This is 5. It's the main event, right?
No, this is the co-main.
Who's the main?
Lee and Barboza.
The main event's always 5 rounds.
Yeah,
but I think Edgar and Lee, that's the big one on the poster.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. We gotta look into this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Barboza Lee is the main event, and Cub and Edgar is the co-main event.
All right, let me see. I'll if only we had a computer to check this out.
Or CB.
Yeah, CB, if I can. Yeah.
But I think that fight goes full rounds, even whatever it is, 3 or 5 rounds. I think that's going to go the distance.
You're right. Barboza Lee, I think, is 5 rounds. So now, that being said,
does that affect your pick?
I still think Lee wins, but yeah, I think Barboza's got a better shot of catching him if he doesn't get stopped in the first 2 or 3.
Who has a better gas tank?
I mean, Lee gassed hard, but he had staph infection. He usually has a pretty good gas. I don't know. I've never seen Barboza get tired, so I don't know.
Do you think the passing of Kevin Lee's coach will have an effect on him this fight? I forgot what his coach's name was.
No, Ryan Follis, Robert Follis.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely hard, but it was a couple months ago. Not that it's easier, but I also think that also Lee Follis had left that gym already before that happened. He left Extreme Couture.
Okay.
And Kevin trains with Drysdale for jiu-jitsu. I think Mayweather for boxing. And I think he does like all around over there, so it's not like he's his sole coach.
Okay.
Definitely not easy. But Kevin kind of has like a bunch of different trainers.
I was listening to Kevin talk on Ariel's podcast, and I really like his attitude coming to this fight. He's a lot more serious. He's talking about how he's not trying to be flashy like he was with the Michael Chiesa fight, wearing silly clothes. And
he's off Twitter.
Yeah.
Not fucking around with people.
When I see a fighter do that, I'm like, I'm all in. I got to pick that dude. His head is in the right place for this fight.
I think so. I got Aljamain over. Aljamain Sterling is fighting the undefeated kid who won by... he beat Joe Soto by like, remember that he did some crazy move?
Ultimate Fighter?
No, it was like, I think it was for the finale. He hit something that was insane. The guy, Brett Johns.
Johns.
Yeah, we've had him on the podcast many times. He hit like a weird, like calf slicer in the fight.
Wasn't that like super fast too?
Yeah, but I think Aljamain's got this. Also on this card, Chase Sherman. The Vanilla Gorilla.
Yeah.
Is taking on Justin Willis. This huge black guy that fucking throws so hard.
How'd you think about that giant Indian dude from the last card?
He got caught.
In the omoplata.
He was winning, though.
Yeah.
He got caught.
That's the second omoplata in UFC history. First was Ben
he got
Saunders.
caught. He got caught, but he was doing all right.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be back. Dan Hooker, I got him over Jim Miller.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Dan Hooker's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, there's great hookers in Atlantic City, by the way, where they're fighting. Ryan LaFleur, I got him over Alex Garcia. Ryan LaFleur, I think. Garcia's really good, but I think LaFleur's got it. He got knocked out hard. And Seir Baldazara, a guy I hung out with Mayhem one time, who made Mayhem look normal. This guy, Mayhem, had to like talk him to like not jumping off a bridge. And this dude is insane, but I love him, though. He's fucking hit so hard.
Sayer?
Yeah, Seir Baldazara.
Seir.
He's a good guy. And then Patrick Cummings is taking on Corey Anderson. I got Cummings in this fight.
His fights are always so fun. He always comes out super bloody
with that creepy mustache from like a 1910 boxer
and a missing tooth.
Yeah, I remember he was living with Mayhem.
Really?
I met him. He was living with Mayhem. He just got out of jail. He went to jail for stealing people's. He went back to Penn State and like robbed dorm rooms and like.
Allegedly.
He did. And he was like an alumni. He was like an alumni at Penn State. Went back and like had to do like a year, but it wasn't prison. It was like, he said it was like community service, but still, I wouldn't want to be there. And he was living with Mayhem going, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Oh my God. Well, this is actually a pretty good damn evenly matched fight. They're both 10-4. I think Corey Anderson is just going to out-wrestle him.
No, Patrick's a Division I wrestler.
You think so?
Took second in the country.
You think he's going to stand his ground?
He a better wrestler than Corey Anderson.
Wow.
But he doesn't fight that. He doesn't wrestle sometimes. He just gets into crazy fights. But I think he's going to win. I do think Patrick's going to win.
I want him to win, yeah.
And Leslie Smith is taking on Aspen Ladd.
It's our girl.
I got Leslie all day long. Leslie Smith. Leslie, absolutely.
I feel like she's bigger than Aspen too.
She's bigger,
like way bigger.
She's cooler. She's hotter. She's single, guys, and she's cool as shit. I remember the one time Leslie came to a show, and she just got a tumor removed the day before, or like that afternoon from her stomach. And she did comedy the next night, and she was showing us the video of them removing the tumor. And my wife like got off a plane to meet me at the comedy show. And I'm like, she's so tired and pregnant. I go, hey, babe, look at this. She's like so grossed out by this video of Leslie's tumor getting. And then Stephan Bonner's like, look at my hand. I still have a tooth in it from a fight.
Oh, my God.
And my wife's like, what kind of fucking people do you hang out with?
He really had a tooth in his hand?
Yeah, he had like a tooth that's like stuck in there for like life or something.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Hello, is this Cheyanne the Princess?
Who is this?
This is Adam Hunter. You're on the MMA Roasted Podcast.
Oh, hey, Adam, what's up?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
And thanks for coming to my show and for being a wonderful human being. I watched your fight in the LFA a couple weeks ago, and that was an amazing fight and such an impressive performance. And that was awesome.
Thank you.
It was a tough. It was a
fun one.
They gave you a tough pro debut. Holy shit, that girl was no joke.
Yeah, she was tough for sure. But I have so many fights that I expected to have my first pro debut a tough opponent. I never want to take the easy fights, and so that's why we went with her.
What do you mean? Have you had a lot of like Muay Thai fights or karate fights or?
No, I have a lot of MMA fights. I had 17 amateur fights.
17. Jesus.
Yeah.
What was your record?
After my freak act, it was 9-6-1.
Okay.
My record. Oh. Yeah, and then I had actually 2 kickboxing fights. I was 2-0 in kickboxing, but.
Well, I'm happy you finally got the first one. I mean, now what was the difference between the amateur and the pro fight, as far as like experience wise and stuff, like going to like your experience?
It was the difference. I would say is adding the elbows and knees. That was great. That helped me out a lot.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, that fight. It was back and forth. You kept hitting that same throw over and over. How many times did you hit that like lateral throw?
I think I hit it like 5 times.
Yeah, you set a record. So what's your background as far as like where did you grow up?
My background, as in growing up, I'm from Tampa, Florida, but I grew up actually in Taekwondo my whole life.
You're from Tampa, and then you went to high school in Tampa?
Yeah, right out there. I actually dropped out my senior year to actually train for my first MMA fight when I was 17. So I still ended up graduating. I just went through a different program. But I knew when I turned 18 I wanted to fight, so I left school at 17 to train full time.
Wow, and you're such a pretty girl. Like when I met you, I was like, "So where do you dance at or something?" And then you're like, "Oh, I'm a fighter." Like you don't look. I mean, no, you look strong and like solid, but you're not like the typical fighter. By the way, like you're hot, yeah. And I'm not that most fighters aren't hot, but you're hotter than most people.
Well, that's. Can't judge a book by its cover.
That's
right?
true. That's true. That's 100% true. So you trained in Tampa. You had your first amateur career in Tampa. When did you make the move to Vegas?
About 2 years ago, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've been here for quite some time now.
Nice. And then you trained over at Syndicate?
No, I trained at Extreme Couture.
Extreme Couture. Right. Now, what was that like when you got there? Were you like the new kid on the block? Were people nice to you? Were guys hitting on you? Did Kevin Lee try to bang you? Like, what happened?
Oh, you're too much. No, I was actually definitely the new girl on the block. I definitely don't really know what they were thinking. I just went in there, open arms, and was just trying to be, welcomed by everybody. Everyone was actually super cool with me, but I think people respected me just by me putting in the work every day and not giving up and showing up every day. So
nice.
I mean, XC did a lot of people who come in and out, and I've proven that I'm there to stay, and I've definitely built a family relationship with them now. So it's amazing. Now,
and Misha is managing you?
Yeah, she's my manager.
Nice. Now, is that weird? How did that happen? She came up to you and said, like, I want to manage your career?
No, it's not weird at all. I got a hot mama as my manager, so I think it's pretty tight.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, what are you doing for work in Vegas? Because I know it's hard. Like, you've only had one fight. Are you doing personal training? Are you waiting tables? Like, what are you doing?
I was serving. I actually just left my job last week, just to finish off my. I was only working once a week, anyways, on the weekends. I just made enough to pay my bills, but right now I just got enough saved up to finish off the last few weeks of my camp. And after that, I also do meal plans for people, so I'm actually really starting to help build that up more. I got a few clients now that I'm making meals for, so that gets me by. I'm pretty broke, but hey, this is my second fight in 2 months, so I'm making a little bit of money doing that. But
now Now, who are you fighting next, and when and where?
I'm fighting out in Kansas City May 4th for Invicta, and I'm fighting Helen Peralta.
And what do you know about her?
She's a brawler.
All right.
She is definitely a brawler. She's just all her fights are the same, so that's all I really know. But I'm gonna go in there expecting that she's the best in the world and that she's well-rounded through everything. So we'll see. But so far, the only thing I know is that she likes to throw with some heat. So. By
the way, I just showed Joe your picture, and his eyes popped out of his head. He was like, "Damn!" I think it was like the picture where you're holding this like meal, but you have this like gray thing on, and like your booty is just fucking popping out. Like Jesus Christ, what
Beautiful.
Yeah, very
It's all legs.
all natural. You said.
I said I'm all about the legs, but yes, of course, 100% natural.
All right. Okay. Now I'm looking at I'm looking through your Instagram. You've been fighting. You've been training with Claudia Gadela.
Yeah, I've been helping her out for her camp, for her sparring sessions. Just been there for her, and she helps me out as well. So, but yeah, she's one of my sparring partners for this camp, and I'm hers for her. So.
Who is she fighting next?
Her name, Carla Esparza.
Oh wow, that's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I see you. I see Carla. I see Gina Danger. She's an old friend of mine, and I like it. I got like these 4 little hotties over at Extreme Couture who could also throw down. Now, do you have a boyfriend?
No, I'm actually I'm single.
Are you on Tinder or Bumble or any of those things?
This is a coincidence.
I don't know.
You are? You're on dating apps? Really? How sad is it? Fuck.
Well, Adam, I'm single too.
Yeah, you're single as well.
Yeah, let's set it up.
Now, are you into 6'3" guys who are blue belts?
Wait, what?
The other guy on the podcast is 22 years old. He's your age. He's 6'2". He's a blue belt, and he's in a film school. So he's
And I'm hot too. I'm sexy.
yeah.
Oh yeah, what boy?
Yeah, he's very hot. He's hot. Now there's a picture of you now. There's a picture of you. You says that you have my eyes on the prize, right? And like your eyes look like they're looking there, and it looks like your shirt is like falling off your body. Like what is going on with it? Like how creepy are your DMs, by the way?
Actually, they're not that bad.
All right, that's good. I like it. Good.
Because I'd probably shut down everybody.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, because it's I like it though, because you have like if you want to follow her on Instagram, by the way, it's Che War Princess, Chey War Princess. What belt are you in jiu-jitsu?
I'm a blue belt.
Blue belt in jiu-jitsu, black belt in karate,
And taekwondo, yeah.
black belt in taekwondo, good wrestler, solid throws, and is looking for a boyfriend. So guys,
The creepy DMs are coming now.
yeah.
Just hit up the DMs.
Yeah, hit up the DMs. So you're fighting in Invicta. When is this fight?
May 4th.
May 4th. I will be watching this fight. I'm excited for this. And you're fighting Helen, who's a brawler. What's her record?
She's 1-0 as well.
1-0. All right. Who did she beat?
Honestly, I don't even know that girl's name. That she beat.
And now I'm looking at you, a picture here. Your back has a tattoo on it. It takes up, but it's written on your back. It says...
Down the spine.
It's on the spine. What does that say?
It says, courage is knowing what not to fear in Greek.
Courage is knowing what not to fear. Huh.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid of getting ass raped in jail. I guess I have lots of. I don't know. I don't know. That's good. All right, that's something I'm very excited. All right, listen, Cheyanne, you're a sweetheart. And then here's you hanging out by the pool with 2 of your friends. You have hot friends at like Dre's.
Maybe they'll like the Weendawg.
You're doing good. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm on the right path.
On the right path. Any crazy stories you want to tell us? I mean, what drove you to be a fighter, to drop out of high school? Are your parents still together?
No, but I mean, all right, I kind of lied. I didn't drop out. I got kicked out of high school.
Okay, all right. Why did you get kicked out of high school?
For beating up some girls.
Nice.
Wow, how many girls did you beat up?
Honestly, it was too many to count. I don't know.
Wow, you were getting into fights in Tampa?
Well, I mean, it was in school, but they were messing with my family, and that's one thing you don't do, is you don't mess with my family. And so yeah, I kind of got kicked out of school for it, and I got arrested for it, and pretty much I got out of jail, and I was like, they want to kick me out of school for fighting people. Well, guess what? I'm gonna show them I don't need school. All I need is to fight. And now all of a sudden, all the girls are following me and following my career, and I'm like, oh, look at that.
Okay, we have to back up this story a little bit, okay? Because I feel like I'm in like The Godfather 4. All right, so who is messing with your family, and what family members were they messing with?
All right, so I used to be a cheerleader in high school, all throughout high school, but I was also in MMA, but I was obviously too young to fight, but I trained MMA full-time, as well as cheerleading, and my senior year, these girls they're just bullying me. Like, man, screw these girls, you know? But I tried staying away from them, you know. I tried doing everything the right way because I knew I'd get in trouble, whatnot. Well, one day, you know, they were like the typical rich girls, like, you know. And one day I quit the cheerleading team because I was, you know, getting in confrontations with them and on the field, and it was just not good. And so I quit the cheerleading team, but the cheerleading coach got fired because she didn't help me out because I made all these reports to her, but she didn't report them to the school. And when the cheerleading coach got fired, well, the girls' moms were friends with the cheerleading coach, so they got all mad and whatnot. And so in retaliation, they called Child Protective Services on my family and said that my mom gave them alcohol at one of the games, which is absolutely ridiculous. So one day my mom texted me, I was in school, and she was like, come home, our house is getting raided. And so I went home. Oh, my God. I just seen all these freaking people going through my mom's stuff. My mom had to get drug tested. My 85-year-old grandmother lived with me at the time before she passed. She had to get questioned, and then I got questioned. And then my brother, who was only like 12 years old at the time, got questioned. He had to get taken out of class to go get questioned. And when I found that out, I packed up my stuff. I went back to the school, and I told my mom, hey, you're going to have to pick me up from jail. And she was like, go have fun. And I went back to the school, and I just beat these girls' ass.
That's the greatest story I've ever heard in my entire life. All right. So how many? So there was like four. So the rest. So there was like four girls, and you just punched them in the face.
Yeah, I got in trouble because like obviously like I went back to school, and like I was so emotional. I was crying. You know, it was like months of me like making reports to school about them, you know?
Yeah.
And they never helped me out, you know? And so I saw one of the girls, and she saw me crying, and she laughed, and I just lost it. It was like a switch. I just ran up behind her. I pushed her. She turned around. I hit her. Some other girl wanted to jump in. I hit her, kicked one. I don't even know how many I hit. I just know I told my friend, I said, if anyone grabs me, hit them. And, well, my friend, the teacher grabbed me, and my friend, she straight up punched the teacher, got the teacher off of me. I kept fighting, and then finally, like, a bunch of football players grabbed me, and I kicked one of them right in the stomach. And I looked at the camera because I did it right in front of the camera, and I flicked the camera off after, and I said, fuck you, to the school. And, yeah, they didn't like that.
Now, is this on World Star Hip Hop anywhere? Can I watch this or no?
No, honestly, I think it was so unexpected. It was so old. Only picture I have is me getting arrested, and I was like, that picture is never going anywhere.
I think I'm in love.
Like,
I'm very turned on right now.
This is amazing.
I have an erection.
This is the greatest story I've ever heard in my life. Shay,
it's not one of the stories I'm really like proud of, but at the same time I am, because you don't mess with my family.
No, hell no. Good for you. I like how your mom just said have fun.
Yeah.
Like she knew what was going to happen.
My mom was just like, have fun.
There you go. I like it. Well, listen, now you're undefeated as a fighter. You're on your way. Yeah. You're on your way. You're in a good gym. Yeah. You're very hot. Good for you. I will be tuning in May 4th. Thank you for being on the podcast. Keep up the great work.
Thank you for having me on, Adam, and I'll see you next time you're in Vegas.
Definitely. Take care, Shay.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. That was Shay War Princess.
It's a perfect package right there, dude.
Jesus.
Beautiful, sexy. She is the revenge blood in her, and that's my kind of woman right there.
Right? Really? I know, right?
Is she really my age?
She's 23.
There you go. Set it up, dude. Where does she live? Florida?
Vegas.
Oh, Vegas.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I got Jessie Jess down there waiting for me.
Yeah, you do have Jessie Jess. She's waiting for you.
Yeah, she's waiting. But the thing is, I get kind of jealous because Jessie always posts on her Instagram, her like with these giant, roided out dudes who like who weigh 600 pounds full of muscle. I'm like,
You could
damn
take
it,
those guys.
Well, yeah, I know I can take them, but physically and in appearance wise, I don't.
Oh, come on.
I'm nowhere near those.
Yeah, you are.
dudes.
You're a great looking guy. That one girl was vomiting. You were so handsome. Come on, you gotta have more confidence, man.
Yeah, but I love Jessie Jess. I think she has a fight coming up against.
She does against Jessica I.
Ooh.
That's a good fight right there. I'm very curious to see who wins that fight.
Well, I got Jessie Jess. I'm pretty sure she's gonna ask me to be in her corner for that fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think looking at my face will give her enough confidence to go
and like want to punch somebody.
Yeah.
All right. Hello. Hey, we are talking to Al Iaquinta right now. Al, yes, my dog is very happy. Al, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Good, man. Dude, I was so proud of you, bro. You have such balls. Fighting Khabib on short notice and going 5 rounds. I think if that fight was a 12-round fight, you would have won. You agree?
I don't know. Who knows, man? I don't know. 12 rounds, 5 rounds. Maybe. Who knows? If I was prepared for that fight, it would have been a fight. You know what I mean?
But don't you think you were gaining confidence, though, throughout the fight?
Honestly, I had confidence going into the fight. I don't know. I don't think so. I think he took me down with shots that my thing going into that fight was I was not getting pushed against the cage. And I did pretty much that. He got me with those low single shots, and he held on like a freaking vice. He had that vice grip. He was strong, man, and it was a little different. The shots were different. I hadn't seen those before. I wasn't really prepared. And once I got a little sweaty, I defended him. I slipped my leg right out.
Was he the strongest guy you ever fought?
Was he the strongest guy I ever fought? I'm gonna say in like a wrestling, yeah. As far as wrestling goes, yeah, he was definitely the strongest I've ever fought.
Yeah, because it's something about those Dagestani guys, right? They have like bear strength, where it's not like an American.
Yeah, he locked onto my leg, and most people, especially without wrestling shoes, you can you just turn your knee down and you slip your leg right out. I was freaking trying to kick him, everything, and he was just holding on to that leg. He wouldn't let go. It was like a vice grip on my leg. But yeah.
What was he saying? When he was talking to you in the first, what was he saying to you?
In the first round?
Yeah.
He wasn't really talking to me in the first round. I don't think. It wasn't until like the third round he hit me with a bunch of jabs, and that's when he started talking. It was like, well, 4, he goes, 4 jabs, and I was like, I don't give a shit, I told him, I said, I don't care. Hit me with another one. And he did.
Well, I think
I wasn't backing up. I don't care.
I think you definitely became the people's champ after that. And then you were on the bus, right? You were on the bus when Conor was trashing the bus?
I was. That was insane. That was crazy. That was uncalled for. Definitely very unconsiderate. Me and everyone else that had nothing to do with this nonsense. Well, it worked out for me, I guess, so whatever. And it was pretty fun. I don't know. Was
any part of you like, fuck it, let's go off the bus and start beating up Irish people?
No, not really. I was just along for the ride. I wasn't really too angry about it. He didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, it happened so fast. At first I thought someone was getting run over by the bus, and that's why people were banging on it. So I thought someone was getting killed, and they were banging on the bus like, stop the bus. It had just we had just started pulling away. And then I hear just banging, boom, boom, boom. And it was too aggressive to be anything other than someone, you know, I thought someone was getting run over. It was like, yo, they're dying. Stop the bus because you're running someone over. Yeah. And then something came flying through the window. 2 seconds later, I was like, that's it. I'm fucking dead. Like, there's a freaking terrorist attack. Some crazy freaking losers shooting up the Barclays Center. Something. And then I see Connor running around, and I was like, this is hysterical. I thought it was actually, I don't know. I felt bad for Rose, is really who I felt bad for. You know, she was kind of shook up. That thing was coming right for her face.
Yeah.
I think they said. But that was, that was the craziest 3 days of my life. The bus thing happened. Then the next day was the weigh-ins. I found out that, you know, they weren't going to let Holloway fight. Pettis turned down the fight. They weren't going to let Felder fight or whatever. And then I found out I'm fighting in the main event against Khabib. And the next night, I fight Khabib in the main event. 3 days right there was just the craziest thing. Like, how can you ever top that?
Yeah, no, it was insane. And you know what's crazy is that, you know, the UFC kind of screwed you over a lot of times by taking away your bonuses and by not giving you fights and all this other shit. And here you are kind of saving the day for the UFC. It shows you how big of a guy you are.
Save the day, that's right. I told them the whole time, I said, I'm your guy. You need a guy like me. They need a guy like me. The UFC needs me. There's not too many like me. You see, people ask for that. I didn't even give a shit about how much. I said, pay me. I said to my manager, I said, get me as much as you can. It was that at that point, it's not the point of negotiation. There's no negotiation. If you're trying to negotiate for more and hold out, it means you're kind of scared. You know what I mean? And I said, I accept the fight. I said, my manager, get me as much as you can, and let's fucking go. You know what I mean? So that was it.
Now, a lot of people were.
Appreciate it. I got a bunch of. Go ahead.
A lot of people were saying, like, if you just land that one, if Al can just land that one big shot, that shot that took out Diego Sanchez, the shot that dropped Kevin Lee, if that one big shot, if he can land it, he could win the fight. You know.
How about I go in there? How about I train for that fight and I beat that guy in every not even. Like, I went into that fight with that mindset, kind of, but look at the guys he's fought. He's fucking murdered everybody.
Yeah.
I went on a day's notice. I wrestled I wrestled more in the fight than I did in the camp leading up to it.
Right.
So, you put me in there on a full camp. These guys were training to do that. I wasn't training to do that. They got murdered. I didn't. And those are the top guys in the world. I've been sitting on the sidelines. People don't get it. No one understands. I'm the freaking best guy in the world. It just so happened that I took that fight on 1 day's notice, and I was supposed to fight a striker. You know, so.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting upset about Rogan's commentary a little bit, because I was like, Rogan was like, yeah, you know, I'm not that impressed with Khabib. I'm like, first of all, Khabib's never finished anybody with one punch. Second of all, he's fighting you, and he's winning the rounds, but like, you're no fucking pushover. Like, I thought he looked also really good beating you.
It's not even that I'm not a pushover. I'm the fucking best guy. I'm better than all these guys. I just took a fight on it. Like, I had to think about wrestling the night before. Like, holy shit, I gotta rethink defensive wrestling. I hadn't thought. Full Felder was not taking me down. He was not gonna, you know, that was not a thought in my mind, really. You know what I mean? So, these guys, I don't know, man. Like, he's gonna have Joe Rogan watch him versus Barbosa.
Yeah.
He fucked him up in every single set possible. In the third round, which was the same as my third round, he was running him down, beating the shit out of him standing up. He didn't do that against him.
No.
Everyone, Khabib is not as good as everyone. No. He kills everybody. I'm the fucking man. I told people this wait, you know, I don't know. I get no respect. You know, I get respect for being a tough guy, I guess. But I'm not just a tough guy.
No, absolutely. And
The next person's gonna get.
I think hardcore fans know that, though, for real. I think hardcore fans realize how good you are and how this was going to be Khabib's toughest challenge, and how good you were grappling, how you were a college wrestler, how good you are on your feet. You know, I think the people that know MMA know that. So
I appreciate the people that know MMA.
So
I think it's kind of like I don't know. It pisses I mean, it's cool. Everyone's like, oh, congratulations. Congratulations on what? Like, I don't know. I should have beat that guy. But I did the best I could under the circumstances, so.
No, you did better than the best you could. I mean, you won over a ton of fans. You got a ton of money. You got way more than you would have gotten. And I think that your stock went up. You know, granted, of course you want the win. You're a fucking winner. That's what you do. You win. You win wrestling matches, you win college wrestling matches, and you win fights. So I could see why you feel unfulfilled. But, you know, this supposedly pound for pound best guy in the world couldn't finish you. And, you know, yeah, you're right. And like a full camp, knowing you're training for Khabib, that's a whole different fight. That's a whole different fight. How do you think Khabib does against Conor?
Did you see Khabib versus Edson Barbosa?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like the blueprint, you know? I think Barbosa's better at defending takedowns than Khabib. You know? I mean, this weekend will probably tell a lot how he does against Kevin Lee. But
now I know the guy who runs the Al Iaquinta Realty, and there were women, actually fighter women, hitting him up, going, "What are you doing tonight? Want to party? What are you?" So I would assume that a lot of women were all over you in New York that night.
I'm a one-woman man. I got a beautiful girlfriend.
Nice.
So I appreciate the love, but more about her.
How long have you been a girlfriend for?
Oh, about a year.
Oh, nice.
It's been almost a year, yeah.
What does she do?
She works in a law office. She bartends on the weekends.
Nice.
Takes care of children with needs. So she's
like you, or
she's a good girl. What's that?
Like you, or no?
I have a child with needs too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I mean, you know what I mean, like freaking, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I special needs kids. I know exactly what you mean. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And how's the real estate business?
Real estate's been good, man. It's even since the fight, I've been getting a bunch of calls. People looking to buy, people looking to sell. I've been I'm driving down to Atlantic City right now to Corner Aljo. So it's been tough, kind of. Man, I don't know. Since the fight, I've just been like lethargic. It's been tough to get motivated to do things. I don't know what happened. I think I just put so much energy into this camp and into, I think those 3 days I didn't really sleep. The night before the weigh-ins, I slept like 2 hours. The night before the fight, I slept just a couple hours. But I was wired the whole time. It was crazy. I was on freaking, I don't even know. But I was wired the entire time. And I think it was just the excitement of the whole thing just took a lot out of me. And after the fight, it was still like I was on a high, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And then a couple of days ago, it all just came crashing down. I've just been a zombie. I've been really struggling to get motivated to do this real estate thing. But the houses that I was trying to sell, I'm working on them. Not really taking on too much new stuff right now, just because I've been so busy, and I was just kind of trying to recover from that
Well, I mean, how could you not be on a crashing down? I mean, that's the highest you're going to get. I mean, fighting in Brooklyn, the main event against that. I mean, and then going from here to there to that, it's insane. So you deserve a week or two to kind of relax and get back down to earth and spend time with your girl. You know, do some more backyard wrestling. So,
dude, if the kids want to do something, you saw that video, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Backyard wrestling video?
That was awesome.
Yeah, the cannibal clutch.
That was unbelievable. That was one of the coolest. If you guys know what I'm talking about, these kids hired Al to be a fake wrestler or pro wrestler in someone's backyard, and he showed up and wrestled somebody else as like part of a kids party. I was like, that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
You're gonna see those kids one day in the NCAA finals on ESPN.
I don't doubt it, man.
Joking. Those guys are savages, and they know how to fight too. We're almost trying to pull them away from the fight and keep them with wrestling because they just love combating it so much. They're awesome.
So,
but yeah, that was funny. That was a good time.
So
I got a lot of respect for the wrestling after that. Going out there and training with those pro wrestlers. That's a tough thing. It's just like fighting. It's an art. And, the only thing that's different is the predetermined, result. But other than that, it's an expression of kind of who you are in there and moves that you do and getting the crowd behind you. It's fun. It's fun. It's a cool, it's a whole other world.
Absolutely. So who do you like tomorrow in the main event? You like Lee or Barboza?
It's hard to root for Kevin Lee. It's hard to root for that guy. Like, everyone that I fight, I root for, because if I lose to a guy and then he gets killed by everyone, it's like you just lost to a guy and now he's getting killed by everyone.
Right.
You know? And then if I beat somebody, like I beat Kevin Lee, you want him to keep winning, because you want to be like, I beat this guy and now he's doing good. Kevin Lee is just so hard to take. You know what I mean? It's like the guy's I don't know. The guy's like a nerd.
Well, he's outspoken, brash. He's a good-looking, brash, outspoken, good athlete.
No, he's not. He's a nerd. He's got a degree in biology. You know that, right?
He what?
He has a degree in biology.
So what's wrong with that?
People that have degrees in biology don't talk yo mama, this and that. Like, you know how to speak correct English. Don't give me that shit, Kevin Lee. You're not freaking that guy. You're the guy that ran home from school to study. You are not the guy doing freaking shit in the hood. You're not. Get out of here. You know what I mean? He's so fake. And I don't know, like, I think maybe the UFC, like the guys from the UFC, they don't see that. So they're like, oh, Kevin Lee is going to be like the hood guy. He'll like get that demographic. It's like, no, they get it. They see I do that shit too. You know what I mean? He's not that guy. He's a nerd. He's a science biology nerd. Like, Kevin Lee, you want to be yourself, and maybe you get the science biology nerds. You'll get that demographic. Like, be the fucking nerd that you are. Be yourself. You're not going to be fake. You'll know what you're talking about. You'll speak proper English like you did when I fought you. When I fought him, he was like a little nerd. I remember him walking into the back. He walked into the back, and he was signing the posters, and he knew, like, he was out of place a little bit. He was like trying to fit in. So he kind of he was like, you could see he was just trying to act hard. But not that guy.
But he's from Detroit. He's from the street. He's from the streets of Detroit. Why? He's from the streets of Detroit, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but guess what? That doesn't matter. He ran home every day to study. He was not like he ran past the hood kids. I grew up I'm not even. I don't even want to. I'm going.
You grew up in Belmore, right?
wanna-
Or Massapequa?
I grew up in Montauk. We were drinking beers with our parents in high school, freaking at the bar. And we would go. I was not like a. I'm not saying I was any. I'm who I am. You know.
Right.
You can't really be who you want. You know.
What are your thoughts about Colby Covington?
I'm not from the hood, but I know how to. You know, I know how to fight. I used to go to the. I don't know. I used to. Whatever.
What are your thoughts about Colby Covington?
Colby Covington, he's a good fighter. He's got some good skills, you know. He's another guy that I wish would just kind of be himself. I think he's like, it's hard to watch. It's very cringeworthy. I don't know. I hope people don't think that about me.
No one thinks that. No one thinks that about you. I just think, I had Colby on the podcast last week, and he was like, he talked about how Mike Perry was an incest, and people from Brazil are all animals, which I told him you shouldn't say that about all people. Maybe, the one person that was throwing things at you. But and then he said, how he was going off on how he was going to teabag RDA in the middle of the octagon, and it just kept going. But I go, listen, how come you went from being this like humble guy to this? And he said, that's the person he is now is who he really is. And before, he was trying to actually just be like a nice, humble guy. He's like, fuck that. I want to be who I am. So.
I guess. I mean, I hope that's not who he is. I think, look, this sport can just make you fucking crazy. And if he was the humble guy, and it wasn't getting him anywhere, I don't know, maybe this is getting him somewhere, so more power to you. But I don't know. I think it's I don't know. I just hope he's. I would be. It's tough to look back on, if it doesn't work out. Look, if he wins the rest of his fights, if he becomes the champion and he's got this whole thing and he does it the way he's doing it, I guess. But if you lose, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and you're gonna look like a fucking jackass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself. Even like before my fight, I was feeling a lot of pressure just from like speaking out a little. Like, I hope I wasn't like not that I was trying to be like that, but just speaking out, putting yourself out there is tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If he gets knocked out by RDA, there's gonna be a lot of people celebrating. But at the same time,
he's gonna feel it. That's like the end of. I mean, I don't know. I think he's really got to win and keep winning. Otherwise, this whole little shtick is. But he's been doing good. He's won his fights.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter for sure. He's definitely a great wrestler. He's been in the game for a long time. He's been working with with those guys and with Masvidal. He was Masvidal's like wrestling coach before, you know what I mean? So he's been in the game for a while.
Meanwhile, our boy has a big fight coming up against a tough Long Island kid, Vince Pichel, fighting Gregor Gillespie.
It's going to be a tough night for Vince, but Vince is strong and he's been in the game for a while, but Gregor's wrestling is tough, man. And his stand-up's getting good too. He's a tough guy. He's a tough fight for anybody. So. Yeah,
Vince knows that. I think if Vince lands that shot, that knee, he hits really hard, right? I mean, you've been in there with him.
He definitely hits hard. I'll give him that. That was like 5 years ago. I do remember thinking that I don't want to get hit by Vince. You don't want to get hit by him a lot. Yeah. So, it's going to be an interesting fight. It's actually a really good fight card. Vellante is fighting on it as well. There's a lot of lightweights, I think, on the card.
Yeah, Jake Ellenberger's on the card against Ben Saunders. It's the one in Utica. Yeah. I can't wait for it. Well, listen, Al, thank you for calling in or being on the podcast. Us calling you. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. I was rooting for you like hell. I'll always be rooting for you, man. And Thanks for being there for me. So I appreciate that, man.
Anytime, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me out.
Always. All right, take care. Have a good weekend.
You too. All right.
That was Al Iaquinta.
He's got to change his nickname to Dangerfield. Al Dangerfield can't get no respect around here.
Yeah, I could just see Joe Jaggy with the meme of Rodney Dangerfield. Al Iaquinta. He's right though. With the full camp, I mean, who knows?
It would have been a more challenging fight for Khabib.
Oh, wait, dude, Al could have won now with the full camp.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fuck, a challenging fight. I mean, yeah. I mean, Al was training for Ferguson. I mean,
Khabib was.
Yeah, Khabib was training for Ferguson. Al was training for a strictly stand-up fighter. So, yeah, he's got a lot of good points there.
And I just read on Twitter that Khabib he's apparently says he's in negotiations to fight McGregor right now.
Yeah, after McGregor was done getting suspended in 2080.
I really hope Khabib doesn't have that mentality, like, only give me big fights. But I want to see him fight actually like #1 contenders. I want to see him, fight. Who's
Tony Ferguson? I want to see him fight.
He's going to be out for like a year though.
Yeah, his leg is fucked.
So his leg. You seen the pictures of his big ass scar on his leg?
Oh God, yeah,
it's like a foot long.
It's like a C-section.
Yeah,
it's horrible. It's
damn
horrible. So what do you got coming up, Joe?
Got some cool things in the works. Weendawg t-shirt's gonna be out soon. Go follow me on Twitter, the Weendawg, same as for Instagram. Join the goddamn Weendawg Nation Facebook group on Facebook. And that's pretty much it. Go listen to Weendawg Radio. My last episode I did this week was about witches and warlocks and witchcraft.
And girls that you're going to date next week on the show. Can't wait to hear all about it.
That's it, dude.
I will be at the Grand Junction, Colorado at the Avalon Theater this Friday night. Grand Junction, Colorado. Next week, next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Portland, Oregon, and Sunday at Harvey's Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon. Then I'm going to be in Naples, Florida, May 3rd to the 6th at Off the Hook Comedy Club. Minneapolis, House of Comedy in Minnesota, May 9th to the 13th. So come check me out there. Also, if you're a fan of the podcast, get an MMA Roasted versus Everybody t-shirt. You can get it on adamhunter.com. I will personally mail it to you. I mailed out like 6 this week. Which is a lot. For me. Also, if you go on Amazon and you shop on Amazon, okay, go to adamhunter.com first. Click on the banner on my page. It takes 2 seconds, and then shop on Amazon. So click on the Amazon banner that's on there. You click on it, and then I make money on that. It doesn't cost you any money. It helps out the podcast. So far, I think we're up to $14 in 6 months, but it helps. So thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you, Al Iaquinta. Thank you for Shay, War Princess. Hope you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.
Trap sonsen trap dansen Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан Даадar стуулан дур булаа мууруулаа